Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about the murder of Skylar Neese. This is a very interesting story, so stay until the end to find out the truth and who betrayed her. Before we start, if you like to deep dive into the true crime stories, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. These stories matter, so sharing them keeps the victims remembered. Now, this story begins with a friendship, three teenage girls, a small town, and a betrayal so cold that shocked the investigators even to these days. This is the murder of Skylar Neese. Now, grab the food, because I know you like it, and let's start. Skylar Neese was born in 1996 and grew up in Virginia, in Star City, from West Virginia to be more precise, where is a small town where everyone knows anyone. And it was the kind of place that felt safe, the kind of place where the kids are riding the bikes and the parents feel safe with that, and nothing truly terrible supposed to happen to them. No? No? Now, Skylar was the only child. She was very close to her parents, they even married, and by all accounts, she was a very kind person, creative, and most important, loved by others. Like most of the teenagers, all her world was around school, around social media, going out. Her closest friends were two girls named Rachel and Shayla. They were calling themselves best friends. They spent weekends together, they shared photos, secrets, they were posting each other on social medias. And in the picture, they looked normally, just like three best friends hugging each other and loving each other. But as high school was approaching, something began to change in their relationship. Skylar started to drift in a total different direction. She was growing, she became more mature, and she was thinking about her future, while her friends, Rachel and Sheila, became more and more closer, and Skylar was feeling that she's left out. I think we all been in that kind of relationship at some point. Text messages later revealed the tension, hurt feelings, jealousy. No one imagined what will happen with all the anger that was accumulated. On the night of July 5th, 2012, Skylar was at home with her parents. Nothing really seemed unusual, and around 12:30 a.m., she quietly left her bedroom through the window. This wasn't unusual for Skylar. She'd done this before, but she was always coming home from her friends. The parents had some security cameras outside of the house, so they captured everything. A car was pulling by them house. Skylar climbed out of the window and she started going to the car. And gone. When her parents wake up later that morning, they saw that she's missing. She's not in her room. And they panicked because that's not like Skylar. She was always coming back. She didn't have her phone, she didn't take clothes, and she didn't leave any note. Dave and Mary called the police immediately. They knew something is wrong. At first, the officers were assuming that it's just a simple runaway. After all, she was just a teenager, no? But her parents insisted Skylar would never leave without telling them or without coming at home by the end of the morning. As the hours were turning into days, the panic started to rise across the Star City. They started to form search parties. They put flyers everywhere. The entire community was trying to find out where is Skylar. And right there, across the devastated parents, it was Rachel and Sheila. I don't know how emotionally you can go and be there with the parents looking for someone that you know where it is. I literally have no idea how you can possibly do that. You do something and then you go and pretend you haven't done anything. That's mind-blowing. Anyway, let's come back to our story. They were hugging Mary, crying with Dave. They even helped organize the searches. They gave interviews pleading for Skylar's safe return. Rachel even described Skylar as her best friend. And Shayla was posting emotional messages on social media about Skylar. But behind the scenes, something chilling happened. And you will never think about it. I will never think that my best friends would do something like that to me. But it looks like everything is possible. On Twitter, Rachel and Sheila started to post cryptic messages like "we really did go tree" or "can't sleep" or "still shaking." And at the beginning, no one noticed because, the Twitter is Twitter. Everyone is posting some sort of things in there, and they are teenagers, so no one will think that, something is odd about it. Meanwhile, the police was investigating every single lead. They were questioning classmates, tracked the phone records, and reviewed all the surveillance footage. The footage was showing Skylar getting into the car, but never come back home. And on top of that, the same car was driven by Sheila. Suspicious. Still, Rachel and Shayla told police that they have dropped Skylar off later that night. They claimed that she asked to go home, and there was no evidence to contradict them. Months passed and Skylar was still missing. And 6 months after Skylar's disappearance, the investigation took a turn. Police brought Rachel in for another interview, and this time it was different. Rachel was quiet, was nervous, like you can see on someone when is not feeling comfortable. And she asked for a lawyer, so how more suspicious than that? And then she broke. Rachel confessed. She told the police that on 5th of July, in that night when Skylar disappeared, she and Sheila picked her up, not to hang out, but to kill her. They drove, they drove across the state into Pennsylvania to a remote wooded area, and they asked Skylar to walk into the woods like they had a plan from beginning. How could you do that to your own best friend? Skylar didn't suspect a thing. And then, without any warning, Rachel and Shayla attacked her with some knives. Skylar fought back for her life, but she screamed, she begged. And Rachel said that Skylar's last words were, "Why?" They stabbed her over and over again until Skylar stopped moving. It's so sad how you can even live with this, with that image. And then on top of that, they buried her body in a shallow grave and went home. The next morning they woke up and they went on with their lives and pretend nothing has happened. When they were asked by the police why they done it, Rachel's answer was very disturbing. She said that they didn't like Skylar anymore. So if you don't like her, just don't be friends with her anymore, no? It's so simple. Simple math. You don't like someone, you're not staying with that person. They felt annoyed by her. They felt that she was drifting away, and they just wanted her gone. I'm sorry, I can't understand this. I just can't understand this. Apparently there was no self-defense, no abuse, no moment of rage, nothing. It was just them wish to see her gone. They just planned, wait, and they made them dream come true. Sheila was arrested shortly after Rachel confessed. When she was confronted with the evidence, Sheila showed no emotion. Text messages later revealed the chilling truth. The girls had planned the murder for months. They were practicing lying. They rehearsed alibis. And they joked afterwards. I mean, it's like you're going shopping. Rachel eventually led the police to Skylar's remains, and Skylar could finally be brought home. Rachel pleaded guilty for second-degree murder, and she received 30 years in prison. I mean, life in prison could sound better, but with the possibility of parole after 10 years, which is why? She done this on purpose. I mean, that's my opinion, but she done it on purpose. Why would you let her going out? Definitely she has a problem now. Sheila pleaded guilty for first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Skylar's parents were there at every hearing, and they listened to all the details, and they had to go to all the trauma, thinking how their daughter been murdered by the people that she was feeling safe with. Skylar's mom, Mary, later said in an interview that the hardest part wasn't the murder itself, but it was realizing how easily people can lie, how evil the friendship can look. Skylar's bedroom was kept the same for many years. Her parents now speak publicly about her story, not for fame, but to warn other parents about what can happen and other people, teenagers, that the danger doesn't always look like a stranger. Sometimes is actually your best friend. Now I want to take some moment to remember the victim and to talk about the victim, because she deserves for her story to be told and for everyone to remember how wonderful they were. Skylar, she was 16 years old. She loved music, she loved her parents, but she trusted the wrong people. Her story isn't just about the murder. It's about betrayal, silence, and how violence can hide behind pretty smiles. If you stayed until the end, thank you for listening to Skylar's story. If you want more true crime stories told with respect and honesty, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the like button. It helps these stories to reach more people, and it helps keep the victims remembered. And as always, check on your friends. Not everyone who smiles is safe.